we're gonna make one of my absolute favorite cookies. That is my brown butter chocolate chip cookie. It is a gooey chocolate chip cookie with two different types of chocolate. So you get gooey puddles of dark chocolate and then little pockets of semi-sweet chips, topped with a little bit of flaky sea salt, and then you get a little bit of nuttiness from the brown butter. They are fantastic. I'm so obsessed, and they're so incredibly easy to make. It tastes like a bakery, but you made it. Save your money and make it at home, baby. I have 2 sticks of unsalted butter. I prefer to use unsalted butter whenever I'm baking because I like to control the salt quantities when baking. So when you use unsalted butter, you already know there's no salt in it. So then when you're adding your dry ingredients, you add the salt then. When you're using salted butter, you don't even know how much salt is in that butter. So it's just a lot easier to keep it simple and also just to always keep it at the same level. So this time I'm using Vital Farms. I love Vital Farms. They have such high quality ingredients. I'm using their butter and their eggs. And no, this is not sponsored. I just love Vital Farms. So we're starting off 2 sticks of unsalted butter. Let's talk brown butter and why I am obsessed with it and I use it all the time. Brown butter is literally liquid gold when it comes to baking. So what you're doing when you're browning your butter in a saucepan is you're trying to evaporate a little bit of the water that's in the butter, and then you want to toast and make the milk fats all golden, and it smells so nutty and delicious. This adds a nice caramel flavor into the butter. It is such an easy way to elevate literally anything you're baking. So that's why I do it all the time. It makes any home bakes taste professional. So when you are using brown butter, because you're starting off with a hot, warm butter, you do have to let it cool for about 5 minutes before mixing with your sugars, because when you add in your eggs, you do not want to cook your eggs. Like, it literally will cause scrambled eggs if you do not wait. So patience is definitely key. And then since it is more of a wet batter, we do have to let it set in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. I think the longer you let it sit in the fridge, the better. Up to 24 hours. If you let it sit in the fridge for a long time, I recommend rolling it into dough balls first, then putting it in the fridge, because it does get pretty hard to scoop after that. I just think it tastes better after time because you really let the brown butter just get a deeper flavor with the dough and it just becomes more cohesive. It's fantastic. But today we're going to keep it simple and just put it in the fridge for 30 minutes because I want to enjoy these cookies today. So the butter is pretty much melting right now, so I'm just going to keep stirring it. You want to continuously stir the edges because you do not want it to burn, and that's where it would burn. So we just continuously stir the edges to make sure nothing's getting burnt. So you can see on the edges, we're getting some brown bits, so we just want to stir that into the butter. And this looks pretty perfect. You have bits of brown butter throughout the entire thing, and the butter has turned brown. I'm going to transfer this into a measuring cup and let cool for 5 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. The brown butter is slightly cooled, so we're going to mix the brown butter with brown sugar and granulated sugar. I like using a mix of brown sugar and granulated sugar because the brown sugar adds a deep molasses flavor and a little bit more chewiness than just standard sugar. And then you want to take a spatula and get all of the brown bits out of this measuring cup because we just spent time making this brown butter, and if we don't use the actual good parts, the brown bits, then like it was kind of a waste of time. So always make sure you get all of it in. Now we're going to mix in light brown sugar and granulated sugar. And give it a good mix. You want to mix this for a few minutes, like 1 to 2 minutes. I said it once and I'll say it again, baking is the best workout, I swear. You have such an arm workout and you're on your feet, you're moving around, you're goofing around. The number one question I hate getting is people are like, how are you so skinny? I know you're not eating your cookies. I'm like, no, I just like, I'm always moving. I was a Division I athlete. I ran 400-meter hurdles. So I was a sprinter for about 10 years of my life. That's like more than 1/3 of my existence that I was just sprinting and doing really intense workouts. So I still work out like every single day. Plus I'm on my feet all the time. So I'm definitely burning the calories. So I deserve the cookies and I work for it. Okay. I work for these chocolate chip cookies. And the best part is what I like to do is like baking is my love language. So I love just giving cookies to my friends and family, my neighbors. It's just like my favorite thing to do. Give them to delivery drivers. I know when I moved like a year ago, but my old like UPS driver, like I always gave him things. He was so sad. He DM'd me when I moved. I felt so bad. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to abandon you and your sweet treats. But the nice thing is now his wife makes my recipes. So it's all full circle. But yeah, I mean, end of the day, I'm moving and grooving. Okay, this is good mixed. We're gonna crack in 1 large egg and 2 egg yolks. I like to bring my measuring cup back over here to catch the egg whites. I was like, what are words? There we go. So instead of using 2 large eggs, I prefer to use 1 egg and 2 egg yolks. Adding the extra egg yolk makes it a little bit richer because the egg yolk is the fatty part of the egg. And then I like to use vanilla bean paste, so we're gonna just drizzle that in. I haven't used this vanilla bean paste yet. And you measure vanilla with your heart. That was a lot. And now we just mix it together. And then you want to mix it until it's completely smooth and looks like this. We're going to float in the dry ingredients, which is all-purpose flour, baking powder, salt, and cornstarch. The cornstarch is optional, but it makes the cookie super chewy and delicious. Once the dough is completely formed, we're going to now chop up some dark chocolate. I coarsely chop up the dark chocolate so you get small puddles of chocolate in every single bite. Dark chocolate puddles and drips, unlike semi-sweet chocolate chips, like when they're chips, they already kind of stay intact and formed, where dark chocolate doesn't have anything to keep it in its form, so it makes the perfect puddles of chocolate. It's going to be all different sizes. You want big, you want small, you want really a mix of everything. And then when I'm making the cookies, I pour almost all of the dark chocolate into it, but I save a little bit on the side so I can top it at the end. All right, now we're gonna add semi-sweet chocolate chips and dark chocolate chunks. Now we're gonna mix it together and then refrigerate for 30 minutes. Okay, so the dough is in the fridge for about 30 minutes, so I'm gonna scoop it up onto a baking sheet and then bake for about 10 minutes. I kind of want to make bigger cookies, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than my traditional scoop. Alright, we're going to throw this in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes. I take a biscuit or any circle shape. I've used cups, I've used bowls, really depending on the size, and then I spiral it around the cookie so every cookie is perfect and circled and it looks like it came from a bakery. While they're still hot, I like to press a little bit more chocolate on top so it gets super gooey puddles on top of each cookie. So I'm going to press some dark chocolate into it because these are the ones that really puddle. And I'm going to do some semi-sweet. Kind of a mix of both here. And that's how you get those like beautiful bakery style chocolate chip cookies. Is I used to add them on the top right before baking, but honestly I found better results adding it at the end. Okay, and then we top with my secret weapon, which is Maldon Flaky Sea Salt. I love this stuff. I love using Maldon Flaky Sea Salt on top. It brings a little bit of the sweetness out by adding a little bit of saltiness. And just like that, you have the best brown butter chocolate chip cookies. This is one of my favorite recipes to make, so I hope you guys try it and love it as much as I do. If you do try this recipe, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think, and also leave a comment down below on what recipe I should break down next. I'm thinking cinnamon rolls, but I don't know. Alright, that's all. Thanks for watching. Bye! Peace!